I think there's the big difference between Bombay and Delhi. If it was Delhi, the first question he would be asked would be about the last parliament session, Lokpal, and people would have got him immediate. People would have drawn him into starting to attack the Congress party. Bombay walas have pains of their own. That is the difference between Delhi and Bombay. Sanjay was running Idea Cellular until recently.
Arun, I have a longish question. It is coming back to national politics or running the national government. Now, I as an individual, if you ask me with a little help, I can within 12 hours place every minister or minister of state of the union cabinet and with very high accuracy be able to define who is financially corrupt and who is not. And my definition of corruption is very, I'm not talking of character. I'm just talking of a person who pays his taxes and doesn't take his bribes. So anyone, I think half the people here, or maybe 3/4, would know exactly with 99% accuracy. And people like some of you on the stage would know it with 99.9% accuracy and with greater graphic. Surely the Prime Minister knows it. Now, the point I'm arriving at is that we can keep saying that we are a democracy and we get the kind of elected people that the people vote. But there is a moment of truth. The moment of truth is when the Prime Minister gives a chit to the President that this is the cabinet I want. That is a moment of complete autonomy of decision making. Any person with a sense of right or wrong would know which way to go. Obviously,
so what's the question?
My question is, I've finished my. I would say that all the first world countries have this, and India had it in the first 15 years. It's not impossible, but we haven't had it, unfortunately.
What is it?
Now, when you are of our generation, it requires a human being to show imagination and courage. You may be in a position at some point in the future to make a decisive human intervention which will shape the country's future. Do you think of it that way? I mean,
what he's asking you, if I can paraphrase it, do you reflect and do you worry about the state of our politics and the quality of people who are coming in?
If you are put in that position and the moment of truth, would you go the way like all our politicians, or would you be able to make a... And it doesn't require courage, it requires imagination.
Or let me ask you, at corollary, when you were a cabinet minister, did you face moments where you had to take this call? To do something cynical, either in your... I know you will never do anything for money, but in party's interest, in the interest of some special interest of the party, ki mera kaam kara do.
You see, I'll tell you, when you asked me, do you reflect on it? It's a worry I have. It's a worry I have because of more than one factor. The one question that I have always asked myself, to which I have still got no answer, why is it that people who have a sullied image, and the kind of people you had in mind when you asked that question, are able to do well in electoral politics? Have we been able to make this, in terms of public awareness, public consciousness, a very key issue? Secondly, why is it that even when there is a huge preponderance of probability on somebody being a high suspect, our entire political system, investigative system, judicial system, except for some cases in the recent past, is not able at the end of the day to achieve success? And there's a third worrisome question, which I have raised with some of the colleagues, when some of us want to practice what we consider to be ethical politics, at least in terms of integrity, do we get a little extra rating because of that? Or that's an ignored factor? Now, when you speak in terms of rating as far as parties are concerned, media is concerned, public is concerned, in a group like this, it's possible for each one of us to just make the right noises. But the truth is that in terms of our larger democracy, the kind of revulsion against this kind of unacceptable public behavior that we have to create, I don't think we've still been able to create it. When you said the first 15 years, I think if you move down a little, through the decades of 90s and the last decade, where in large parts of India, caste identifications hardened. We called it social factors. The net result was that even they were able to defy the principle that questionable characters will start losing votes. So if they lost vote in one election, the pendulum would skew and they would come back. I think we, as economic growth takes place, urbanization takes place, the impact of media, both print, visual, internet media takes place, the level of awareness increases. Unless we are like developed Western democracies, able to create a level of public awareness where there is a revulsion. Otherwise, what will happen is, parliaments can't proceed a vacuum, they'll have to produce a government. They can't produce a vacuum. And therefore, even from amongst people who've been elected within your party, within the present ruling party or some other party, even if there are some questionable characters, people will say you can't have a vacuum, you need a government, you'll have to take support, and you'll have to fall back into them. So the answer is not what will you do tomorrow if this happens. The answer is there has to be an unsustained campaign. And I personally don't think the recent campaigns which have been carried on in and outside governments, parliament, media may have some impact. But I think there's a lot of distance you still have to travel.
But tell me something, when this anti-politician mood was really riding high, did you in some moments agree with it, or did you some moments worry about it?
You see, I'm both in agreement and worried. Agreement because why is it that the image of an ugly politician sticks? It's not that you in the media have painted it as ugly. It's also because from within the political fraternity, people have actively contributed to the making of that image. And that image then gets carried. So you may have a few incidents taking place, and that dilutes the whole credibility as far as politics is concerned. There may be exaggerations, there may be rumors even without evidence, but then the atmosphere and environment for that is created from within the politics.